Moving on to general items. Item number 11, the Active Transportation Program Grant Application Project Approval, presented by Mr. Benjamin Moody, our Deputy Public Works Director in Engineering. Ben.
Good evening, Mr.
Filling
Mayor.
potholes, Ben.
Potholes, yes. Railroad, big potholes there. We got that one fixed. What I have before you tonight is in regards to the Active Transportation Program. The city, this is the third cycle that Caltrans has had a call for the Active Transportation Program. And what this program is it's a conglomerate of past programs in the state where they've kind of put together past programs with Safe Routes to School, Bicycle Transportation Account, Transportation Alternative programs, and they've put it into a competitive grant where the state agencies throughout the state compete competitively to basically obtain funding for programs that increase biking, improve safety and mobility, reduce greenhouse gases, enhance public health, and benefit disadvantaged communities, provide benefits to many types of users, and cost effectiveness. So really what this means is the buzzwords are we're looking for a project to bring money into our agency in order to meet these goals. We're looking for a project that provides gap closures, links to public transportation, links to activity centers, to schools, recreation users, to commuters, and then it's available to all different types of groups. And so there's a lot of goals, and we're looking for that project niche that we can really make our project strong because of the competitiveness of the grant. And so with that, staff kind of did a review, and and also reviewing past successful projects through SACOG and through the state, we've came up with 3 projects that we think will be high competitors. And those 3 projects, the first one is a continuation. It's a gap closure to continue the Class 1 bike path from Hooper Road that goes west out to Sutter to Harder Parkway, which would eventually tie into the proposed Terra Buena Park. This project has a lot of benefits when we're trying to sell it for grant applications, just because of the activity centers with Walmart, the shopping centers, the future park, leveraging money for the park, and then also it's a pathway, so you got peds and bikes. The other project is we put consideration in, if we get that path and that park, how are we going to get people to the park and to the path? And so we wanted to make this connection. And it's also come to light with that development, with the harder development being delayed with the recession, that it's hard to get folks down to the school, down to River Valley, using Harder Parkway, and then also getting to the future park. So we'd like to propose putting a grant in to add a joint path, basically build the future sidewalk to 12 foot wide, in accordance with a specific plan, in accordance with the future development, to get to that future park. So we're not waiting on that. And then the other project is on Bridge Street. This would be tie into our future phase to widen Bridge Street from Cooper to Gray. And it would basically build that north path on the north side. It would bring people to the east to Cooper, where they would then take a Class 2 bike lane down to B Street and up and over to the levee. And it's kind of a gap closure project, and also would help tie into our future widening project to help us with that project. And so there's a couple different elements, all of these that we think we could argue to try to benefit. It is just an application, but we're going to try our hardest to sell it. And we take any input from council if you have a different spot that you'd like staff to look at. The funding for these is approximately 11.5% match, should we get them. This one's probably about $1 million project. This one is probably an $800,000 range. In this, we haven't put numbers to it yet. It's real rough with us putting this stuff, but it's probably around the $500,000 plus by the time you talk design and building it. And so anywhere between $100,000 to $150,000 match should we get one of the projects. With that, I'd like to recommend that you authorize Public Works Director to submit the Sutter Bike Path Extension, the Harder Shared Path, and the Bridge Street Shared Path projects for grant funding through the State Active Transportation Program, Regional Active Transportation Program, and the Bicycle and Pedestrian Funding Program. I'd be happy to entertain any questions or recommendations.
Any questions currently of Mr. Moody? And, you know, this is also one of those where I feel that opening it up to any public comment is appropriate. If any member of the public knows of a need, a specific need, where funds like this can be utilized, certainly hearing from you, you reaching out to us would be helpful, or at least help reaching out to our Public Works Department would be helpful. Seeing nobody jumping up, my only comments are thank you very much for looking at the projects, looking at this, looking for an independent submission for the grant. We can do it through SACOG, but we can also do it independently. We can do both applications if we want, and it may put us in a little bit better position as we move forward to do it independently and also through SACOG itself. The Bridge Street project, I think, is one of those key pieces where our investment in that infrastructure will be paramount to what it will look like, what that corridor will look like in the future, especially the north side of Bridge Street, especially as that becomes a gateway into kind of that revitalizing that center portion of Yuba City. And I think the expenditure of funds on an active corridor is more important than past plans that have looked at utilizing the old railroad right-of-way, which we still don't have access to because it's still held by Union Pacific. That could be forever, possibly. But looking at how are we going to move people around and what will that look like in the future? And I certainly think that this is an attractive piece that can be added to that Bridge Street project and then possibly even extended into the future, especially given the fact of location where Bridge Street School is. So thank you for looking at all of these. Any other comments from council? Action from council?
I'd like to move the recommendation.
Second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Now get back to work, Ben. Because I think the deadline on this is...
There's a review if we get it in by June 1st.
Okay. All right. Thank you.